Welcome back to Insects for Fun. I'm your host, Mitchell Logan, and today we're talking about a wasp that you might have seen inside your house at some point and had absolutely no idea what it was. It's tiny, it's black, and it moves in a weird, jittery start-stop way that most all suspicious insects do. Now, this insect is the ensign wasp. Today we're going to find out what it is, why it's in your house, what it's doing with that strange abdomen, and why you should absolutely not kill it. Ensign wasps belong to the family Ivaniidae and sit within the order Hymenoptera, the same enormous order as ants, bees, and all other wasps. Within Hymenoptera, they're part of the superfamily Evanioidea. The family Ivaniidae contains around 400 to 450 described species across approximately 20 living genera, found on every continent except the polar regions. And before you ask, yes, many more are thought to exist. Good host data is only known for about 4% of the family as of recent estimates, which means we still largely have no idea what most of these wasps are actually doing. The name ensign comes from naval terminology. An ensign is a flag flown on a ship, and these wasps got the name because of the way their abdomen is held. It's attached high on the thorax by a thin stalk, and it kind of sticks up like a little flag. Combined with the constant bobbing motion, it's honestly one of the most distinctive silhouettes in the insect world. Some people also call them hatchet wasps, which is less charming but equally accurate given the shape. Now, most ensign wasps are small to medium-sized, roughly 5 to 11 millimeters or about a quarter to just under half an inch. They're typically black with clear wings and long, spindly legs, but the feature that makes them unmistakable is the abdomen. In most insects, the abdomen is attached at the rear of the thorax in a fairly straightforward way. In ensign wasps, it's attached way up high on the propodium, the very back part of the thorax, by a long, thin, tube-like stalk. The abdomen itself is small, oval, and laterally compressed, meaning it's squished from the sides, so it's taller than it is wide. It looks almost like a tiny shield or paddle mounted on a flagpole, and it never stops moving. When the wasp walks, the abdomen bobs up and down in a rhythmic pumping motion. Nobody fully understands why. The leading theory is that it helps the wasp sense vibrations through surfaces as it searches for what it's hunting. And we're going to get more into that in a moment. And then ensign wasps have these incredible eyes. The most famous species, Ivania ependigaster, has really stunning bright turquoise compound eyes that contrast against the black body in a gorgeous way. Don't worry, I'm going to put a picture of this one. Anyway, it looks like a tiny alien, or maybe like a Pokemon. But yeah, it's super cool. Okay, so here's the whole deal with ensign wasps. These wasps are parasitoids of cockroach egg cases, or cockroach Otheca. That is their entire ecological niche. Their entire strategy revolves around finding cockroach Otheca and destroying them from the inside. Not the adult roaches. Not the nymphs, not the eggs, specifically the cases. So, you might remember from the cockroach episode that cockroaches don't lay individual eggs. They produce something called an ootheca, which is a hardened protective capsule containing dozens of eggs packed together inside. Different cockroach species handle their ootheca differently. Some carry them around until hatching. Others deposit them in cracks, under furniture, and wall voids, or tucked into any dark crevice they can find. From the cockroach's perspective, this is a heavily fortified egg nursery. From the ensign wasp's perspective, it's a really big target. Here's how the hunt goes. A female ensign wasp spends most of her adult life walking around, searching surfaces, walls, baseboards, cabinets, floor cracks, basically anywhere, using chemical cues to detect the faint odors associated with cockroach Otheca. When she finds an Otheca, she does something really interesting. She drums on it with her antennae. Then she extends her ovipositor and taps on it repeatedly for up to 10 minutes, apparently probing for the right spot. After she finds it, she drills in and deposits a single egg. Instead of dozens of cockroach nymphs emerging, what we end up getting is a single ensign wasp that eventually chews its way out. The whole Otheka literally becomes the wasp nursery. So there are around 400 species of ensign wasp, but the one most people encounter is Evania appendigaster, commonly called the blue-eyed ensign wasp. This species is believed to have originated somewhere in Asia, though its exact native range is actually unknown. It's been living alongside humans and their cockroaches, though, for a really long time. So pinning down its origin is pretty difficult. Today it's found throughout the tropics and subtropics and in many temperate regions as well. It followed humans because humans brought cockroaches everywhere they went. And wherever the American cockroach Periplaneta americana ended up, Evania appendigaster wasn't far behind. It specifically targets the egg cases of this American cockroach, which is one of the largest and most widespread pest roaches. American roaches love buildings, basements, sewers, and warehouses, which means Evania appendigaster ends up in those same places, which is why you find it walking along your kitchen wall at 11 p.m. looking purposeful. Fun detail, this species can even parasitize egg cases while the female cockroach is still carrying them. And she can do this because of the chemical cues that are given off through the cockroach. Now let's talk about the evolutionary history. So, ensign wasps have been around for at least 150 million years. They radiated primarily in the early Cretaceous, meaning they were hunting cockroach egg cases while non-avian dinosaurs were still very much around. And the really remarkable part is their basic morphology has changed very little to not at all. And how we know this is because they show up in amber fossils from the late Jurassic onwards. So basically, they're getting preserved in tree resin so well that we can actually look at their anatomy in detail. About 10 fossil genera and twice as many species have been documented from the fossil record so far. They are, in the best possible way, a living fossil situation. Cockroaches themselves have been around for over 300 million years, which means the predator-prey relationship between ensign wasps and cockroach Otheka has been going on for at least half of that. Now, that's a very long arms race. Cockroaches hiding their eggs in better places, ensign wasps evolving better chemical detection, back and forth for over 100 million years. And yet, here they both are, still living in your house together. Okay, so for a wasp, what's their personality like? Are they chill? Are they gonna bug you? Given everything we just said about their larvae being ruthless, egg-destroying parasitoids, it might surprise you to learn that adult ensign wasps are completely harmless and actually kind of pleasant. Adults feed on nectar, honeydew, and other sugary liquids. They're tiny flower visitors when not searching for Otheka. And no, they don't sting people. They don't even bite. They don't build nests in your walls or eat your food. And they don't form colonies. They're completely solitary. They're quiet and entirely focused on their own business, which is finding cockroach Otheka. Honestly, they're never going to bother you. If you find one in your house, the correct response is to leave it alone or gently move it to a window. It's actually doing you a favor. The only scenario where an ensign wasp could cause you any inconvenience is if their presence indicates a significant cockroach population nearby, which honestly isn't even the wasp's fault. So, this brings us to the biological control portion of this episode. Researchers have looked into using Evania appendigaster as a biological control agent, but it seems they aren't sufficient enough alone to clean up a roach infestation. The limitation, essentially, is that cockroach infestations in buildings can produce Otheka faster than wasps can parasitize them, especially when cockroaches are actively hiding eggs in hard-to-reach places. The wasps are also not commercially available in any meaningful way at the moment, though some researchers have argued that they should be. Breeding them in lab conditions has been demonstrated successfully, so the infrastructure is there. For now, the presence of ensign wasps in your home is best understood as free, natural, low-level cockroach suppression that's been working quietly in the background for 150 million years. Not a complete solution on its own, but not nothing either. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Insects for Fun. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned some cool stuff. If you want bonus episodes and vlogs, you can find them over on patreon.com/insectsforfun. I got some good news with some Cecropia cocoons and one female Polyphemus pupae that I found, so I will definitely be making videos on raising those as the summer comes. Thanks again for listening, and you'll catch me again later.